Raise your hand if you're in position 1. Position 1. Hands down, position 1. Welcome. Good evening and welcome to the Princeton Community Middle School 6th grade orchestra and band demonstration concert. It is an annual favorite. We'd like to take a moment to recognize any administrators, board members, or other Princeton staff in the audience and thank them for coming. Where are you? Stand up and be counted. Give them an applause. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for supporting Princeton music. Are there any Princeton alumni besides myself in the house? Let's see it. Let's hear it. Woo! We'd also like to thank our auditorium, Mr. Brandon Matthews. Where are you? He's back in the booth, way back there. Thank you, Mr. Matthews, for our light and sound and auditorium preparedness tonight. Please note that there are 4 exits, one on either side and one on either side in the balcony. Up there, you're just going to leave out there and go down the steps, the opposite of how you got up there. Please keep the 2 aisleways clear as they are here for performers to enter and exit the stage. We will be doing a little transfer when it's the band's turn, so please help us stay safe by keeping the aisles clear. Restrooms are located in the arena, but we request that you only enter and exit Matthews during applause or stage changes. Please help us keep our auditorium nice by keeping all food and drink in the lobby only. And out of respect for our performers, please refrain from all cell phone use unless you are capturing photo memories, which we hope you do, in which case, please turn off the flash. Okay. We'd really like to thank the Princeton Music Boosters for everything they do to support music at Princeton with fundraising, advocacy, scholarships, and especially creating our printed and virtual program. Please use the program to become Music Booster members. I just did that yesterday or a couple days ago. But what I really want to tell you about is the Music Booster mattress sale, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! November 12th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you would like one of these beautiful banners at your home like I have at mine, please see Mrs. Brown at the end of the concert. She's got a couple of them that she might let you take. They're very, very special. But we really do hope that you can come and spread the word. If you are a band parent, you should already have information about this. Share it with everyone. You never know who needs a mattress. And again, it's one of our most lucrative fundraisers. So thank you so much for helping us raise money for our beautiful students to have private lessons. I know I was one of those scholarship recipients, and look at me. All right, let's get on with the show. Welcome to the 2022 Beginning Orchestra. This is the Beginning Orchestra, 6th grade Beginning Orchestra. We're going to do those guys first. You're going to see the same show twice, sort of. The first time the orchestra will play, the second time the band will play. It's a totally different experience, right? But please give a warm welcome to our beautiful 6th grade orchestra students. They have sat here so quietly, and Miss Knieven and I are beyond proud of them. I'm Dr. Cindy Casey, the lead teacher of the violin class known as 6th grade high strings. At the piano is Miss Marie Knieven, the lead teacher for the 6th grade low string class, which includes violas, cellos, and basses. We also serve as each other's assistants in our non-lead assignments. To keep up with what your child is doing in orchestra, a good resource is Progress Book and also emails. If you have any questions, you can send us an email. If you are not connected to your child's Progress Book, please contact your child's counselor or homeroom teacher to make sure that you are connected. We want to have transparency. We want you to have voice and understanding about what your students are doing every day in school. You are Also, again, welcome to email Ms. Knieven or myself for assistance or questions about anything. Please see our information on the slide. And I think it might be in the program, but you are welcome to email us at any time. Ms. Knieven and I teach the orchestra program from grades 6 through 12. It is our honor and desire to build a long-term relationship with these students and with all of you as we all help these musicians progress through our program. And I'd like to take 1 minute to tell you that I am now a grand teacher. Several of the parents in the audience were my students, and now I'm teaching their children. So our programs are far-reaching, and I'm not ashamed to be that old. All right, but I'm so proud of them for bringing their children to the program because they remember how important it was in their lives. The most significant way that students can become successful in orchestra is to practice at home. For 6th grade students, we recommend their age in minutes, 3 times a week minimum. So most of these kids are 11-ish, 12-ish. It's 11 minutes, 3 to 5 times a day. That is far less than they game, I promise you, right? So, and they're doing pretty well. I'm pretty proud of these guys. But so the next thing we did was I want to share with you what we did when we first got our instruments. But before we touched our instruments, we learned the most important thing that we learn in orchestra. What is it, students? The self-discipline is the #1 thing we learn in orchestra. Learning our instruments is next. But learning how to sit here on stage like this without talking, without moving, without fidgeting is huge. And I am very proud of them. But I also have to say, and this is true for all of our performing music ensembles, that this self-discipline that they have in our performing music programs will ensure that they are model students and they remain top students in our school. Every year since the beginning, we have always had a majority of students in the top 20, and many times, most of the time, we have the valedictorian and the salutatorians of the class. And I believe it's these reasons right here: self-discipline, knowing how to behave with others, knowing how to get along, knowing how to work with others. That, to me, is the most valuable thing that your child can learn being in these programs, and I'm so thankful that you recognize that and have them involved. All right, let me step down off my soapbox. When we first started learning our instruments, we had to learn how to properly hold our instruments in order to create a good sound, including good posture and technique. Violins and violas must hold their instruments without any hands. Yeah, it's a parlor trick, but they have to be able to do that so later they can vibrato and so forth. So, students, please sit up in position 1. Students, please put your instruments up in playing position and drop your hands. Give them an applause for that. Position 1. Position 1. Bravo, bravo, bravo. All right, that took us a week. They did such a beautiful job. In the past 2 months, your child has gone from not being able to hold their instrument to playing 8 notes and bowing. This involves a steep learning curve. While the students are beginning to learn, they pluck or pizzicato. It takes many weeks to learn to bow correctly, and it also takes a lot of perseverance, which they've shown that they have. The first thing we learned to do was to read music and play what we read. Again, this is huge, being able to read and play at the same time. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's share with our parents how we do this. Please play number 4, Two's a Team, in your Essential Elements Book 1. Instruments up. Ready, Ms. Knieven? 1, 2, ready, and. Shuffle. And now, let's take it to another level and play At Piero's Door. Ready? Instruments up. 1, 2, ready, and. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. So for us, for all musicians, but for string players especially, learning the left hand takes a very long time, and it's very important that we establish the left hand before we add the bow. If they don't have this solid, this will take everything away. So I have been the one, Ms. Knieven and I agree, but I have really pushed that they don't play with the bow very much tonight, okay? By the time you see them for the holiday concert, it's going to be all bow. But right now, we're still working on that left-hand technique. So, and that's why they're playing with like this finger, because they have blisters on the other ones for practicing, right? Okay, in order for students to develop good technique, they must focus on their left hand and note reading skills. Once they have established good habits and have shown that they are ready to add complexity to their playing technique, we add the bow, which is arco, okay? Holding the bow is a difficult technique. However, we have learned it, we have just started, and it takes time to become comfortable. All right, students, grab your bows. Okay, we're going to do a little quickie exercise. Are you ready? Position 1, bows on your knee. Put your bow on your knee. Put your bow on your knee. You got it? Everybody have thumb bumps? Okay, here we go, up like a rocket. Ready? Keep your bow straight, straight, straight. And up like a rocket. Down like the rain. Keep it straight. Back and forth like a choo-choo train right in front of you. Good. Keep it straight around your face like a great big sun. Up on your head. Keep it straight. Check your pinky and your thumb. And that's for applause right there. Yay! All right, we're going to play one song with the bow. All right? Get out your hot cross. Here we go. Instruments up, bows on the string. Wrist down, elbow under. Bows on the string. Instruments up, elbows under. Wrist down. 1, 2, ready, and. As you know by now, practice is a vital part of improvement and mastery, and you should be hearing your child practice at home regularly. If your students are not practicing at home, if you do not hear them, please ask them to practice at least once in front of you and show you what they're working on. That will help them and you to know what's going on. All right, and my last bit about that is, contrary to popular belief, practice does not make perfect. In the words of Kristen Brown, practice makes permanent. And we hope that your children will master their instruments to be able to enjoy playing for the rest of their lives. So we appreciate you being here and sharing them with us. Lastly, a brief word about the care and maintenance of your child's instruments. Sometimes instruments need repair. Sometimes a little bump or dropping it or driving over it or whatever happens can cause the instrument to not work properly. If your child's instrument is not working properly, the first step is to show us, the orchestra directors. If we can take care of it, we will. Otherwise, you want to take it back to where you rented it, which is Baroque, and that is usually covered in your rental agreement. If you rented or purchased from another dealer, you will need to take it back to them for whatever needs you have. But students are expected to have a working instrument in class every day. Please contact us if you have any questions. Now, he's been waiting backstage, probably impatiently, knowing him, but wait no longer. At this time, I would like to welcome to the stage the one, the only, Mr. Tom Burton, to narrate Aunt Rhody's Appetite.
Aunt Rhody's Appetite. Once upon a time, there was an old gray goose who lived on a farm. The farm belonged to a lady whom everyone called Aunt Rhody.
That old gray goose is getting awfully old. I better cook him this year for my holiday dinner, so before he gets too tough to eat.
Aunt Rhody's neighbor on the next farm was Pierre, the French chef.
Well, hello. Well, hello, Aunt Rhody. What can I do for you on this beautiful day?
Well, I'd like to borrow your roasting pan. I'm gonna cook that old gray goose.
Oh, mon ami, no, you do not want to cook the gray goose. I have something that I'm sure you will like. Maybe you can try some of these hot cross buns.
Those hot cross buns are sure tasty, Pierre, but tomorrow, I'm still cooking that old gray goose.
How can you be so cruel?
Well, I'm no more cruel than that girl, Mary. Have you heard about her?
What gossip?
Well, I heard that the other night for dinner, Mary had a little lamb.
Pierre was very upset, so that night he went to see that old gray goose.
Don't mind me.
Hello, Grey Goose. Did you hear? Did you hear what Aunt Rhody was having for dinner?
What's she having?
You!
Oh!
The next morning, Pierre went to see old Aunt Rhody and told her how he warned that old gray goose and gave him a rowboat.
Oh, that's all right, Pete. I was really fond of that. I never could have cooked him. As a matter of fact, I miss him already.
Just then, the old gray goose came waddling over the hill.
Don't cry, Aunt Rhody. I knew you were never mean enough to eat me.
Oh dear, I'm so sorry you had to run away and row down the river in that cold night air.
Well, at least something good happened on the way down the river. I met a new friend. His name was Turkey Lurkey. Would you care to meet him sometime, Aunt Rhody?
Oh, I certainly would. I certainly would.
The old gray goose, Aunt Rhody, and Pierre all laughed and then joined hands and danced a lively polka. The end.
Welcome to the band portion of the 6th grade demonstration concert. Before we introduce the 6th grade band, how about one more round of applause for the 6th grade orchestra? First, I'd like to introduce the 6th grade band teachers. My name is Kyle Phillips, and I work with the brass percussion class. Mrs. Heather Hurley works with the woodwind class. Mr. Todd Lenhart works with the woodwind and brass percussion class. And next to the podium is Miss Kristen Brown. She is the lead teacher for 6th grade band. She teaches both the woodwind class and the brass percussion class. She has an email grouping of 6th grade band parents and sends a weekly update to help everyone be successful in beginning band. If you are not receiving emails from her, please make sure she gets a working email address from you, and she will add you to the group. Another good resource is Progress Book to keep up with your child's grades in band. We all serve the band program in grades 6 through 12 and are looking forward to building long relationships with these students and all of you as we help these instrumentalists progress through our program. We hope to be recognizing each and every one of these students at our senior band recognition in May of 2029. I know, that's a real number. August 11th came along, and we had our first week of band class. They learned how to put their instruments together, how to hold them, and how to produce their first note. The band will now demonstrate page 4, number 1, the first note. Getting to that point took about 2 weeks. So you can imagine what those 2 weeks were like. From that point, we learned about the beat or pulse, notes and rests, and learned 2 more notes. That prepared us to play our next selection for you. The band will now play page 4, number 6, moving on up. From that point on, there was no stopping them. They learned about double bars, repeat signs, clef signs, time signatures, sharps, flats, and natural signs, and 2 more notes. Now they were ready for their first pass-off. The band will now play page 5, number 13, Essential Elements Quiz. The pass-off you just heard is part of our Star Achiever Assessment Program and is a way for students, teachers, and parents to track the achievement of each band student on his or her instrument progress in the band program. The program is a series of 63 pass-offs on specific lines in our Essential Elements Band Method Books 1 and 2. Our goal is to have all students achieve all 63 lines before they leave PCMS and enter our band program at the high school. Just look in the back of your child's book to see how many stars they have and if the stars are increasing. The best way for students to be successful as musicians is to practice on their own at home. Currently, band students are required to practice 60 minutes a week, document that on their practice log in their book, have a parent sign off on it, show it to Mrs. Brown every Friday, and mark as done in Google Classroom for credit. So yes, you should be hearing your child play his or her instrument at home from time to time. There is always homework in band. So, once they knew 5 notes, they could begin to work faster through the book and learn another pass-off. Band, please demonstrate page 6, number 19, Essential Elements Quiz. Sometimes instruments need repair. Sometimes a little bump, or dropping the instrument, or a host of other things can cause the instrument to not work properly. If your child's instrument is not working properly, step one is to show one of the band teachers. We are able to take care of many repairs without a trip to the repair shop. However, if we are unable to repair the instrument, it will need to go to the repair shop. If you rented or purchased your instrument from Buddy Rogers, a Buddy Rogers representative comes out to PCMS every week to pick up or drop off repairs and special orders. Many times the repair is covered in your rental agreement. If you rented or purchased your instrument from another dealer, you will need to contact that dealer for procedures and costs. Students are expected to have a working instrument in class every day. Please contact one of the band directors if you have any questions. Once the band could play with more independence, they were ready to begin work on Aunt Rhody's Appetite. We are pleased to present to you again tonight Aunt Rhody's Appetite, featuring Miss Laura Wilder, 6th grade principal, as Aunt Rhody, Dr. David Maxim, head principal, as Pierre the French chef, Mr. James Stallworth, 7th grade principal, as the Gray Goose, and please join me in re-welcoming to the stage Mr. Tom Burton, Princeton City Schools superintendent, to narrate Aunt Rhody's Appetite.
Once upon a time, there was an old gray goose who lived on a farm. The farm belonged to a lady called Aunt Rhody.
My, that old gray goose is getting old. I better eat him before he gets too tough to eat.
Aunt Rhody's neighbor on the next farm was Pierre, the French chef.
Hello, Aunt Rhody. What can I do for you on this beautiful day?
Well, I'd like to borrow this big roasting pan. I'm going to cook that old gray goose for my holiday dinner.
Oh, no, mon ami, do not eat the gray goose. Perhaps I could persuade you with some of my hot cross buns.
Those hot cross buns are very, very tasty, Pierre, but tomorrow I'm still cooking that old gray goose.
How can you be so cruel, Aunt Rhody?
Well, I'm no more cruel than that girl Mary. Haven't you heard the gossip about her?
What gossip?
Well, I heard that for dinner the other night, Mary had a little lamb. Ooh.
Pierre was very upset, so that night he went to see that old gray goose.
Did you know, mon ami, that Aunt Rhody is planning to have you over for dinner?
Delightful. What's she having?
She's having you, so you need to run quickly.
The next morning, Pierre went to see Aunt Rhody and told her he warned the old gray goose and gave him a rowboat.
Oh, that's all right, Pierre. I was really fond of that old goose. I could never have cooked him. As a matter of fact, I miss him already.
Just then, the old gray goose came waddling over the hill.
Don't cry, Aunt Rhody. I knew you'd never be mean enough to eat me.
Oh dear, I'm so sorry you had to run away and row down the river in the cold night air.
Well, at least something good happened on the way down the river. I met a new friend. His name is Turkey Lurkey. Would you care to meet him sometime?
Oh, I certainly would. I certainly would.
The old gray goose, Aunt Rhody, and Pierre all laughed and joined hands and danced a lively polka. The end.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. All of the students are going to go back to their classrooms, and they are going to carefully put away their instruments where they need to go. And then they are going to walk up this hallway and meet their parents in the lobby. So it'd be kind of helpful if you're spread out and they can find you when they get out there. It will also be really helpful if you stay out in the lobby so that they can come out and find you, because it will be pretty congested back in our music hallway. Thank you once again for being here. We're so proud of all of your students, and wait until you hear them in December, because they will be even better than tonight, and they'll know more notes and be able to play more tunes.